everybody, and welcome to Powerful Stuff, where today you are going to learn how to be your best Valentine ever. That's right. We're going to go into what makes a powerful love story, the greatest love story of all time, the love story of none other than you, yourself. It was like me, myself, and I, you, yourself, and yourself. And the beautiful part of that is when you are the greatest love story of all time with yourself, then you attract other incredible love stories, whether it's with your partner, your community, the world around you. It's all just so powerful, guys. I can't even. So buckle up, get ready to dive in to your own deep heart and discover the wells of love that you have for yourself and thus for everyone else on this episode of Powerful Stuff. And I am joining you today from Panama. I am in Playa Venao at these beautiful retreat center called Alaya, and giving myself a little self-love this week after an amazing trip to Dominica in the Caribbean, which is a beautiful rustic island. Lots of nature and eco tourism, lots of waterfalls. And it feels good in Panama this month to kind of root down. And February, I kind of talked to you guys about it before, but it's like my become unrecognizable month where I'm really prioritizing my rituals, setting my energy right, focusing on my being, and then getting into the doing and having. So all of that's to say, I'm in Panama. I'm at Alaya Resorts by Playa Venao. And tonight I'm actually leading a powerful stuff breath work. What? Become what you're ready to attract, which is kind of what we're going to do today. And I had an episode last year, Become What You're Ready to Attract, where I walked you through how I became what I was ready to attract with my husband, Spencer. So we're doing that tonight at Playa or at Alaya Resort in this beautiful dome. And I'm in our little house dome right now. If you guys are visually watching, you can see it. And then I'm also doing a free virtual workshop this Wednesday, Become What You're Ready to Attract. So if you listen to this episode with the self-love and you're like, you know what, I am going in on the self-love. I want to spend another day with you, Meredith. Then Wednesday at, I believe it's 5:30 PST to 7. We're going to do just that together. So I would love to see you there. You can find the link on my Instagram on Powerful Stuff, or DM me, email me. All of that's to say, become your best Valentine ever. Valentine's Day is such a funny day, right? Because it's like this one day of the year that we're really like wanting to give and feel love, whether it's from our partner, and then we have Galentine's and all of these things. But it's just a reminder of what every day should and gets to be like for us and for our relationships, of returning to love. As Marianne Williamson would say, Return to Love is an incredible book. But like any relationship, right? Love takes work and it's a daily thing. If you think about, your plants, if you don't water them after a week, the leaves will start falling. They'll start dying. If you think about a friend and you don't call them forever, you don't return their calls, you don't nourish their friendship, it will go distant, it will go strained. And same with self-love, right? We might go to like one plant medicine ceremony or go to the Hoffman process or go to this amazing breath work. But if we don't maintain it, it's like that little glimpse, that little aperture into the possibility of that relationship can be lost. And it's so critically important that we use things like Valentine's Day, as a reminder of how to show up for ourselves all days. And I'll give you guys a little anecdote for myself and some different ways it can manifest. And then, of course, we're going to go through it with you to make no mistake. So, you guys, one of my fundamental things that I believe for self-love is becoming the person you're ready to attract, right? Being the love that you wish to see in other people, noticing where we're craving love from others, and then having that honest first look at, where are my blind spots for myself? How am I not giving this thing to myself that I say I want from others? And this goes in a similar framework to how I talk about belonging, like if we want belonging with others, we first have to cultivate it with ourselves. And being the catalyst, if we want community, how can we start to be the one creating that community for ourselves from the inside out? And so goes it with love, right? And so the first step that I like to do, and that I have been doing this week, is, what is the love that I say that I want with Spencer? What is the love that I say that I want with my friends? And where have I not been giving that, right? Where have I been giving the power away by hoping when Spencer does this, then I'll be happy, or when my friends make me feel this way, then I'll be happy, right? So like my first step is like, okay, what is this love that I say that I want from Spencer? And right now it kind of has to do with a little bit of some of the understanding around some of our values, and like, I want like patience and empathy from him for my values. And yet I get so angry or frustrated he doesn't think the same way as I do, which is not expressing patience and empathy, right? It's like if I expect him to give that to me, I have to first like give that A to myself, patience and empathy, and then B to him if I even want a chance of seeing it from him. It's like that was my first question with myself of like, also, in what ways am I not being patient or empathetic with myself? Well, I notice sometimes when I am, you know, like I've talked to you guys about like some of the self-talk stuff, like I'll get impatient with myself that I'm feeling that way. Or if I wake up and I have a little cheeky morning scroll, and then I can have like the self-talk where it wants to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say, and as we've said on Powerful Stuff before, um, where I am like, oh, well, I already scrolled for 30 minutes. So like now why even read that book or like set those priorities? Of course I'm being a little dramatic, but like that's like kind of giving up hope, feeling hopeless, and then being impatient with myself. Then when I like do see or hear about other people doing things that I want to be doing, and then being like, why didn't I do that sooner? Would have, could have, should have. And then I beat myself up for not having done that and for having scrolled instead. And obviously that's a vicious cycle, which if we're going back to also like our root of, core wounds, it's like the I am not enough belief, right? And so how to get out of that is like, okay, if I want the patience or empathy from Spencer for these things, how can I give the patience and empathy to myself for like, like let's just use that morning example that I just described. Well, I could I could slow down. I could be like, okay, I had a little scroll. It's all good. Meredith needed that for some reason. And what we're not going to do is going to go into a shame spiral. So instead, we're going to see like what I need to acknowledge myself this morning to feel a little more peaceful, to feel a little more patient, a little more empathetic to that Meredith who maybe feels overwhelmed and is using the scrolling for escapism, right? So that's just a brief example of like the Spencer thing. And then for like the friends thing, to tie it back to our belonging episodes, if I'm feeling like, the love I want to feel with friends is constant or, constantly included or seen or acknowledged, it's like, am I making myself feel included or seen or acknowledged? Sometimes I notice like I'll like actively go on, certain friends' stories, like seeing, especially while I'm traveling, like who's hanging out without me. Middle school Meredith saying it out loud brings a chuckle. We got to love our little shadow. God bless their little souls. And that's not making me feel included, right? That's the opposite of inclusion. It's like, I know that's going to stir up some type of feeling in me, even though I want them to, of course, be hanging out. And I don't expect people to stop hanging out without me. Although, you know what, if you guys do that on your own, like who am I to stop you? I'm joking. But, that's not making me feel included, which is like what I want to feel with them. So it's like I'm showing little Meredith, like, see, you're not even invited. And then on top of that, when I am choosing to like scroll or like think about those people or comparison, right? That's not prioritizing little Meredith. That's not honoring little Meredith. And so the bummer there is that it's like I want to feel included and prioritized and acknowledged. And I'm like literally not doing any of those things for little Meredith. So with the friend stuff, it's like, okay, how can I have that deep presence with myself as if, I was hanging out with my daughter, i.e. inner Meredith, and being like, this TikTok doesn't matter. This, what those people are doing doesn't matter because I'm here with you. I'm here with you and I'm loving you. And we are so present together. And there's nowhere else I would rather be, right? It makes little Meredith feel so seen and included and acknowledged. So like that's step one. And then step two of like, if I want to receive that, first putting the oxygen mask on myself, giving that to myself. And then if I want to receive that from other people, it's like, once I give that to myself, then also being that for other people, reaching out to a friend, asking them how they're doing, organizing a little Zoom of a few girlfriends. Obviously I'm remote, so I'm kind of speaking about it from the travel or like from the virtual sense, but it's like yeah, if you're wanting that from friends, it's like, who's to say you couldn't invite a few friends over for dinner, or tell, two friends from two different friend groups, come to dinner and invite like a new friend who doesn't know the group. So then you expand your circle, and everyone's kind of in the same boat of like meeting the same amount of new people. And there's no like odd one out, and it's kind of mixing the pot a little bit of like different friend groups. So that's kind of like step 1 and 2 of self-love. Right? It's first kind of like acknowledging the love that you want. What is the aspiration of that love? How does it feel? And then step 2 is kind of like, in which ways are we blocking our blessings? Like, how are we not being that? And acknowledging that, like, and not judging ourselves for it, having compassion for ourselves. But once we acknowledge it, it's like, okay, um, how can I stop doing that and actually start giving myself the love that I crave? And then take it one step further. How can I then now give that to other people? So it always starts and comes from within ourselves. And the deeper we can love ourselves, like, oh, blah, 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 we can only love ourselves to the depths. Oh my gosh. Repeat. Okay. Again, third time's a charm, guys. We can only love others to the depths of which we've loved ourselves. Meaning, if we haven't done the work to accept some of our shadows, if we haven't done the work to accept the things that we kind of reject or feel shame in ourselves, um, then that's going to block us to the extent that we can fully love others. So if we want to love even deeper others with even more like joy and like even less conditions, or unconditionally, if you will, the first step is to getting clear on where we're blocking that within ourselves. How can we bring more acceptance and love to that part of ourself? And as we access that deeper level of ourself, then we can shine it outwards and share it with others and have even deeper even deeper love with others. Powerful. So just to break it down for you, step 1, getting clear on the type of love you want to feel. I want to feel fully accepted. I want to feel fully held. I want to feel just like at ease and fully seen, unconditional, and all of my, joys, expressions, whatever it might be. And then step 2, like, be honest with yourself. In what ways am I not giving that to myself? In what ways also, and an easy other way you can think about this too, if you're having trouble figuring out how you're not giving it to yourself, is in what ways, like, am I angry at like that partner or those friends that they can't do XYZ? Because usually if we're triggered or angry by like how someone's not showing up, it's an indication that like there's some place in our life where we're not showing up like that. Either we're literally self-sabotaging ourselves in a certain way, like similar to that, and we're projecting onto this person, or it's showing up because we actually are tolerating that kind of treatment and we don't have a boundary there. And so our self-worth is being compromised. So those are the first steps. So once you've done that and you've started giving yourself, you've removed the blocks, then we can kind of go back into that visioning dream space of like, how do I want to like fully love and show up for myself? Like if I was, whether you already have a partner, by the way, like I do this exercise every year, even though I'm married to Spencer. Shout out Spencer, because I know I'm going to make you listen. No, I'm joking. He loves to listen at his own accord. I'm like, ask anyone. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Where was I? Look at us just having so much fun chatting the Sunday away and just getting carried away. Yeah. So I meant to say, like, visioning, continuing to be grateful for, but then vision beyond like this possibility. So once we've removed that block, then it's like really feeling into like what that dream experience would be, like that dream relationship with your partner, with others. Reverse engineering that, giving yourself gratitude for all that already is, and all the ways like you're already starting to see the threads of that. And then how can I start to take tiny aligned action toward that feeling? Reverse engineering it, if you will, and stepping into that aligned action. And I will recap kind of what I said in last year's episode, Become What You're Ready to Attract, by saying that, like, before I met Spencer, I would say, oh, I want a partner. We're like so present when we wake up in bed together. We're like, just like telling each other sweet nothings, and it's so amazing. And this is what I said 6 months before I met Spencer, when I was making an ideal scene around like my relationship. And an ideal scene is kind of like the vision into the future, but saying everything in present tense so you can start to feel it now or act as if. Anyway, so I was like, I can't wait to be, or I am laying in bed feeling so present with my partner. And I looked at that and I was like, am I doing that with myself right now? Am I being present in bed with myself right now? No, I'm like in bed, scrolling right before I go to sleep or when I wake up. So it's like, I'm not even being present with myself right now. So to remove that and to take aligned action, I got an alarm clock and moved my phone outside of my room and started and ended my day with a gratitude practice. So I was acknowledging myself, I was being present with myself, and I wasn't distracting myself from myself. So that was like an aligned action, an aligned energetic action I took to step into loving myself fully. TLDR for this powerful stuff episode of how to become your best Valentine ever. You first think about how you want to feel with with your partner, with your community, with the love you want to get. And then ask yourself, where am I not giving this to myself? Where am I blocking this love from coming in? How can you remove that block, right? How can you take aligned action to actually clear it out? And then visioning from that place of like blue skies, like who is my Prince Charming? Like what would they be doing? How would they be making me feel? And then how can you make yourself feel like that right now, right in this very second? Like how can you give yourself that undivided attention of like, I am here now, I am with you, and you are worth it. Whether it is getting dressed up and doing a sexy dance around your apartment for yourself, whether it is cooking yourself a beautiful meal and plating it so beautifully just for you, even if you don't take a photo of it, just to be like, you are fucking worth it. Maybe it's like taking yourself on a little date and literally going to a restaurant and eating solo and just journaling and being alone with you and your thoughts. Maybe it's booking yourself a sexy Airbnb getaway. Maybe it's giving yourself a self massage. These are all like, of course, kind of classic romantic takes on self-love, but self-love also looks like saying no when you mean no, not, bending over backwards to please other people, but honoring your energy and what feels good for you and like not overcommitting. Maybe, this weekend, if you feel like you've overcommitted to friends, like being like, honestly, like I really just need some time alone. And maybe you just do a bubble bath and you don't have to make a huge excuse about why you're not going somewhere. Maybe self-love also looks like not sabotaging yourself or doing the bad habit that makes you feel like shit the next day. Maybe it's saying like, oh, I love myself and I love my future self too much not to just like zone out and scroll on TikTok for 8 hours. But you know what? If you do, don't beat yourself up about it because I know you and I know me and it happens. But all of that's to say, like, giving yourself that act of gentleness, that act of kindness, if you do slip up, but also like when those bad habits are creeping up that you want to break, like having that gentleness, that love, that compassion to be like, hey, we're going to feel even better about this tomorrow. And maybe self love also looks like asking for help. Maybe it looks like asking for help or reaching out to somebody like when you're in need, whether it's like asking or venting to a friend. Maybe it's asking somebody for an introduction. Maybe you're new to a town and you want an introduction to some new potential friends. So it's also like vocalizing your needs. So there's so many ways that you can exercise this self-love, guys. And also we'll do a little journaling prompt at the end of the meditation. But a really powerful thing to do is to write yourself a love letter. Get yourself a freaking Valentine's card this Valentine's Day and tell yourself all the ways that you love yourself. We talked about removing our blocks and deepening our love and connection to ourselves. And you know me, I'm all about gratitude and acknowledgement because what we are grateful for and focus on, we get more of. Funny how that works. I'm like science, guys. So like write yourself a card that you would want to receive from a partner, even if you have a partner. It like, wow, like I just can't imagine like the courage that you've displayed this year for going through X and Y and Z, how you've shown up for other people. Like, I just want you to know I'm showing up for you. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm so freaking proud of you. Maybe you make it into a funny like love poem. We don't also have to be so serious in our love for ourselves. We can be playful. We can be fun. Yeah. And just write yourself a Valentine's card, the kind that you would want to receive from someone else, or maybe the kind that you thoughtfully give to your friends or your partner. Write it for you. let you feel good for you. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, let's just drop right in. Let's go into our meditation for our love potion for ourselves. And we'll get right to it. Best Valentine ever. So taking a deep breath in, filling your lungs, open mouth exhale, sighing it out. Another deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Feeling your heart start to soften and expand. Third and deepest breath. And exhale, feeling your heart soften and expand. Feeling your breath go down, softening your hips, softening your root, bringing a smile to your lips. And as you take this nice, slow breath, bringing all of your energy, your awareness into your heart space. Just feeling so grateful to be held in this space of love in your heart. And as you're breathing into your heart, just noticing where your heart might feel a little tense, a little clamped. Maybe it's having trouble giving yourself full love in some specific area of your life, or maybe it's an area where you feel a deep longing for love you wish you felt from someone else or from your job or your purpose, whatever it might be. Just noticing where in your heart it is, what area. And just starting to breathe with this tense part of your heart. Letting it soften. And as you let it soften, asking this tense part of your heart where it wants to deepen its love, but maybe feel like it can't. What is its fear of opening up? Is it a fear of rejection? Is it a fear of not being enough? Just listening. And behind that fear, noticing just a scared inner child, your scared inner child who just wants this love but is so afraid. Afraid of not getting it, creating the situation they say they want to avoid. And just letting your inner child know that you love them no matter what. And that you're not going anywhere. And that they're safe to feel this. They're safe to open up their heart. And just breathing into that. Almost imagining you're holding your inner child's hand. Maybe it feels scary. Maybe it feels like a free fall, but just letting your heart start to open. And asking this wise part of your heart, asking this open and receptive inner child of yours, what you can do to give them this love unconditionally. So how can you clear this block? How can you take an aligned action to clear it so you can give yourself this love, so you're not afraid of losing it from someone else? Trusting that, committing to doing that, and then breathing into the space with them. And as you feel yourself taking deep breaths, deepening this love for yourself, telling your inner child, I love you because blank. What do you love them for? I love you because blank. Feeling them receive it. And then also letting them know it's unconditional by saying, I love you regardless of blank, right? What are maybe things that you viewed as conditional in the past? You're letting them know, I love you regardless of blank. And then just saying, I love you always, no matter what. And as you breathe into this depth, this new space that's been created in your heart, asking your inner child in your heart to show you a vision of now someone or something that you can love even deeper because you've cleared this block in yourself. Almost like a movie being projected in your heart, getting to see a glimpse of how this translates into your outer love for something else. Because you've accessed this deeper point of love in yourself, how does this enrich the love that you give to others? Feeling others receive it even more deeply, feeling you have even more joy in giving it. And feeling that open you up even more, like this beautiful positive upward spiral, this beautiful deepening. And as you experience it in the external, noticing your inner child morph into the most lovely, radiant version of you who feels unconditionally loved from the inside out. Notice how your eyes sparkle. Notice how you feel just like soft, like the soft aura and aura around you, knowing that you can exhale, that you're so unconditionally loved and loving. How your skin shines, how you just have joy oozing from your face. Exuberant. And feeling and seeing this reflection of that fully loved you. Asking them, how can I love myself more fully right now? What's the step I can take to get from where I am to where you are? How can I love myself more fully? Trusting whatever they say is an aligned step. Thanking them. And then they tell you how much they love you. Just as you told your inner child, you now get to receive the unconditional love of your highest all-knowing self. Telling you all these sweet nothings, these beautiful truths, how they really see you, just as a lover would. Allowing yourself to bask in this, to feel the truth, its potency. Thanking them, giving them a hug, giving your inner child a hug, all three of you in a hug in your heart. And as all three of you lock in this hug, feeling this golden light shoot out from your heart, touching other people in your life that you love, whether it's your partner, friends, family, a pet, your favorite barista, your favorite place or corner in your town that brings you peace, your favorite author, just feeling it touch everything that you love, and then having that boomeranged and amplified back, deepening this whole love around you till you're coated in it like your own lover, and bringing your hands to give yourself a hug, squeezing yourself like you do in a lover's embrace, saying, I love you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm so proud of you. You are so sexy and joyful and loving and connected. Anything else you want to reflect back to yourself, softly, out loud, or silently to yourself. Breathing in this love and then feeling it radiate out of you. Now, even touching people that you're triggered by, even touching people that feel hard to love, even touching things that feel hard to love. until you just feel this soft power of love around you. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling it out. Another deep breath in. And exhale, opening your eyes, coming back into this space. Softly, soft gaze. Just maybe squeezing yourself, feeling the texture of your finger against your skin, licking your lips, just feeling really present and grateful to be in your vessel, to be in your body. And then in this state of loving yourself, go ahead and write yourself that love letter. I love you because I love you regardless of. And I love you unconditionally, no matter what, just like you would with the lover. And then at the end of the letter, state your vow to yourself, your recommitment to yourself. What is the thing that I'm going to do every day to show myself that I love myself? Is it my morning yoga? Is it my evening gratitude practice? Is it sitting and savoring and being with my food the way I'd want a lover to be with me if you were eating? What are these little things that I can do to love myself? Make your vow in that letter, and then maybe even whether it's in the letter or answering it as a separate journaling question, how does loving myself allow me to love others more deeply? And once I commit to loving myself and taking those aligned actions this week, what's something that I can do to spread the love, to be the love to somebody else? What's something I can do, maybe like surprising my favorite barista with a bar of chocolate, I don't know, at the coffee shop this week, or paying it forward, or giving to my favorite organization that does work I believe in, or making a donation in honor of a friend's name, or dropping something off at a friend who I know has been having a hard time. How can we pay that love forward? Okay, everyone. I hope you have the best Valentine ever. Be the best Valentine ever to yourself by showing up for yourself fully, by taking this time. You've already been doing it just by showing up to powerful stuff. So good on you. And I hope you have a powerful week loving yourself. You should go love yourself, as Justin Bieber said, but with a much more, fun loving tone. And I hope to see you Wednesday for Become What You're Ready to Attract for our special workshop. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm excited to see how your self-love, care goes and everything in between. And I will see you next week for powerful stuff. Hey, you. Thank you for coming on this powerful journey with me. I hope it was as powerful for you as it was for me. And if it was, it would mean the world to me if you rate, review, and subscribe to Powerful Stuff so I can keep bringing you the goods. We can keep going on this transformative journey together. And if there's powerful stuff that you want to share with me, with the Powerful Stuff community, tag us on Instagram at That's Powerful Stuff or The Meredith Baker. And I look forward to seeing you next week for more powerful stuff.